Hi, I'm Amy Barnhart, and this is Dr. Dana Fillmore, clinical psychologist and marriage and family expert, and author of Happily Ever After, How to Be Happily Married to the One You Already Married. Welcome back to our regular series where we'll be answering your questions. So let's get right to it. This question is from Jim, and he asks, what do you do when your soulmate doesn't acknowledge perimenopause? And she announces one day that she's ending your marriage of 25 years and her feelings have changed.
Oh,
He feels blindsided, so yeah.
right. Well, again, this is an incredibly difficult time for women. A lot of women are in denial about it. They don't want to admit that they're that old. They don't want to admit that their childbearing years are over, as it were. They don't want to let that part of themselves go, and so they're really in denial about it. But he's not wrong. It dramatically can change a woman's personality while she's going through it. It can mimic the symptoms of depression. It can heighten anxiety, and it can dramatically decrease libido so that she would not feel attracted or in love with anybody. So again, I would, if I had her in front of me, I would hit her with my sentence that I always say, which is I would have to try everything before I ended my marriage. I would have to know that I had done everything possible. I would have to be able to look myself in the eye, look my children in the eye, and know that I had done everything, whether that be hormone replacement, seeing a doctor, taking up yoga, getting into therapy, all sorts of things that one needs to do when going through that time. Whatever that, and not all those things are necessary,
Right.
but whatever it is someone chooses that they have to do, and I would have to be able to say that to myself before I could walk away from, what'd you say, 25 years?
Right,
I mean,
25 years.
That's amazing. So
Right.
again, it's always so difficult because the person asking the question, it's usually who they're asking about that needs to see the answer, right?
Right.
So if there's a way to get him that information, if there's a way, to get her that information,
Right.
if there's a way for maybe even him to say to her, you haven't done everything yet. How can you walk
Yeah.
away if you haven't done everything yet?
Right.
And after she's gone through all of those things, if at that point she wants to end her marriage, which I doubt, then she could make that decision. Secondly, we also don't want to. I don't want to be sexist in this statement, so I have to be careful. Men often blame female type issues for
Right.
the problems. And then they don't want to look at really what's their part in
Well,
that.
actually, one thing, I really like my PMS because it actually makes me deal with stuff that I have been ignoring and putting off. Like something, it makes me angry enough or antsy enough that, okay, I'm going to take care of it. So, I mean, there may have been issues for Jim's wife that have been festering for a while, and, the kids are gone. There's no reason to stay there for the kids anymore. So
there you go. And what can happen sometimes is that the person will say, I'm unhappy about this and I'm unhappy about that, and I've been asking this for years and so on and so forth, and I can't. And the person says, well, you're just going through that. And they're not really looking at,
Right.
PMS just amplifies everything, by
Right.
the way, and so does menopause. Everything just becomes amplified. So those things that were bothering this much are now bothering her this much, but
Right.
they're still bothering her. So he also needs to look at his part and his piece in all of this, and listen to what she's asking him to change. Listen to what she's been complaining about. Regardless of whether it's because she's on edge, she still is bothered by the things that she's
Right.
saying she's walking away from the marriage from. So don't blow it all off and say, well, those are just your hormones, and not take a look at your part in that.
Absolutely. And don't men also have some of these hormonal changes that make them crabby as well?
Yeah, I
don't want to hang it on us.
Not as many, unfortunately.
Oh,
They have other sort of issues. They have midlife crisis things,
Oh,
and they
okay.
certainly have hormonal stuff that they go through, but it's not as predictable. It's not at a certain time in their lives. It can
Gotcha.
ebb and flow throughout their lives. But yes, everybody's got their mood stuff going on. But in this particular case, I do think that there's probably something really happening with her. Maybe she's less tolerant. Maybe she's going through depression, all the things we mentioned. And there's probably some pieces that he's been ignoring over the years as well that he could take a look at.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your
Sure.
help. If you'd like your question answered, please ask it in the comment box below, because this is a regular series and we want to help as many people as we can. And if you'd like even more powerful free relationship advice from Dr. Dana, click on the link below the video. Thanks so much for watching.
Talk to you soon.